you, Julie. There we go. There I am. Good morning, Vesta. How are you? Trying a little different setup. I've got my laptop right in front of me so that I can see who's hopping on. I really got to get to an eye doctor. I can't find the bifocal in my glasses anymore. And so I'm like, if I have everything right in front of me, maybe this will be better. I don't know. Hi, Susan and Linda and Louise and Kathy. Hi, Peggy. So yeah, I've got my laptop right in front of me. It's a lot easier to see and read because my laptop, I can enlarge it. I can just take my finger and I can make it a little bit bigger, which really helps these old eyes. So anyway, good morning, everybody. Hi, Diane. Hi, Sandy. And let's see, Jasmine's on and Pam. Sherry and Barb, good morning. Light snow and 12 degrees. You're above 0. Same here. We finally came out of that deep freeze. It's still really cold, but can you imagine what the South is going through, having, I think our news called it not a once in a lifetime, but this huge event that the South would see 9 inches of snow. That's what we're supposed to be getting, but we've only got a dusting here, which I'm not going to complain, but sure seems like things are a little backwards. Hi, Judy. Okay. Hey, Tony. Hi, Marilyn. And I still having trouble reading some names, so I'm just going to bring it in a little bit more. Janine. And hi, Linda. So I'm getting really excited because tomorrow morning I am going on a birding trip with 3 of my good friends, and we are heading to Duluth, Minnesota. And you're wondering, why are you going where it's cold to go birding? Well, there has been an eruption of great gray owls, boreal owls. I'm hoping to see a boreal chickadee, which there hasn't been a lot of reports of that. I need to see a pine grosbeak. There are all these magnificent birds that are easier to see in the wintertime. So we've got our gear, we're dressing warm, and I'll be back very late Monday. But it's just going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. And guess what we're doing on the way home? We don't know for sure. We got to watch reports. But we're going to possibly be chasing a prairie chicken that is in Wisconsin. I think prairie chickens are supposed to be further west, but our guide has one that he's looking at. So on the way home, we might be chasing a prairie chicken. Haven't ever seen one of them either. So anyway, thank you for being here this morning. I got a really cute card to show you. I'm featuring the Meant to Be bundle and designer series paper. You'll find this bundle in the scrapbooking area of the website. Really cute. Now, we've had a bee stamp set and punch, which I talked about last week too. But this is a little different, and it's a little of the same, but these bees are adorable. I really think that you've got to have the bundle because you're going to love the hexi dies. They're a little bit bigger than what I was hoping for card making. I could totally see a 12 by 12 scrapbook page with these hexis doing a quilt pattern like the garden. is it Grandmother's Garden? But anyway, you'll see when we start putting the card together that you can visualize a 12 by 12 scrapbook page and the possibilities of these hexes. So I am going to flip the camera around and we're going to get started. And while I do that, will everybody just say good morning to each other? Okay, so, okay. You'd think I'd be used to all these little widgets by now, but I am not. Now, last week, Facebook surprised me when I started to dog them a little bit with the camera not being able to flip. Actually, everything was going the right direction when I brought my camera up. So, we shall see. Okay, now don't fall over on me. I don't want my mount. Okay, yeah, we're going the right direction. Okay, so now we're just going to zoom a little bit. You can see I'm using my Sibley bird book as a stand for my mount. Everything's birds around here for me. Okay, that looks pretty good. So again, I hope everybody is staying warm. If you are in the south and you're experiencing snow for the first time, go out and enjoy it while you can. I don't think it's going to stick around long for you. Hi, Linda and Barb. Let's see, who else? Peg and Becky, Linda. Wow, now I'm scrolling with just my finger over here on the side. Man, just learn all kinds of new things. Okay, so let me get this stuff out of the way. Here is the stamp set. I'm going to try and get it so there's not a lot of glare on it, but meant to be. And you'll notice with some of the sentiments, they are kind of geared to scrapbooking, like Love This Life. But I'm using this as a sentiment on my card today. It works great. You'll notice these bees, I think, are a little bit bigger than the punch. I don't know, but we got our smiley faces, all different kinds of expressions. Cute as can be, we are meant to be. And then with the dies, these are the hexes that I was telling you about. Now, the smallest of them is this one right here. And what we're going to be doing for this hexi, I needed the length here. If you don't have hexes to work with, if you would cut 2-inch squares and put them on point, so let's say this was a square, but I turned it this way, so my points are going, I've got a, they'd be vertical and horizontal. It opens up this space here for what we're doing today. Now, what we're doing today can definitely be resized if you needed to, but if you were I don't have hexes that you were talking about, a 2-inch square stood on point will give you the width across here. But circles will work too. You need just a large shape. Okay? But look at how big these hexes are. This one here will still make a beautiful scrapbook page, but we got wings and flowers and bee bodies, and these also can be, word bubbles. So these two shapes here could be word bubbles for your scrapbooking pages or even your cards. And then little antennas here and flowers. And again, cute little bundle. I think it's a must-have, even if you don't right now use everything. You're going to be seeing it more and more. I see a lot of demonstrators playing with it, and their ideas are just astounding. So, yeah, so we'll, let me scroll here, make sure I'm caught up on comments. Hi, Lori. Hi, Patty and Carol. What's this question here? Julie, when you use the fine tip glue, do you buy your own empty container and fill it with? Yes, I actually found this fine tip glue bottle on a jewelry making Etsy page. She sold them for like $1.29, and it was empty, and so it holds almost 2 bottles of Tombow, and I am still using it. I gotta shake it a little bit more, but because it's a fine tip, the glue lasts a good long time if you're not using it all the time. Whoops. Okay, how did I do that? Let's X out of this. There we go. Hi, Carol. Hi, Jean. Jean, just getting home from PT. Thank you for sharing. Vesta, a chirpy doodle shape. Oh, I love it. And this is the Designer Series paper pack, and you can get it with just the DSP, or you've got an option of getting a sticker sheet, which I was just looking at this last night, and the little bees, if you didn't want to if you want to recreate what we do today, but you don't want to do it the way that I'm showing, and I'm being careful because I don't want to give the mystery away. You could use little stickers for the inside of your hexi or the shape that you're using. Here's some really cute little sentiments. So, and some border stickers, which are really cute. This is the bee paper that we had before, but just in bright colors. My favorite right now to work with. So there's that. Are you ready? Hi, Holly. So let's get busy on our mystery quilt card for today. So as I mentioned, I cut, and I showed it in my post for the prep. I cut a whole bunch of hexis from the Designer Series paper. I wanted to have like a hexi for both A and B sizes, or sides of the paper. So I have a little collection of hexis there. I want to show you that when you cut out a piece of Designer Series paper or cardstock, you're going to get 2 pieces here. So you get this little frame, and each one of the hexis does this. You get a frame that will cut out also. Okay? And so that leaves you the ability, what if you wanted to mix up your frames? I mean, there's just so many possibilities. And then when you cut out your Designer Series paper, you get these cute little frames also. So these would look cute as a border. And I wasn't going to use the border at first, but I incorporated it in my card. And you know, you don't have to, but I'm trying to get this to go the right way. I think it goes this way. But look at that cute little border. This could you could stamp and heat emboss a sentiment on there. But when you cut your hexi, you're going to get the 2 pieces. Like I said, at first I wasn't going to use the frame, but then I decided to at the end. And this just happened on its own. If I were to snip this right here and tuck one under, look at that cute little shape that you can get. But I'm just going to add this over here to my little nest of frames. I have this little bird nest going on of all the frames that have been left from the hexis that I was cutting, because I did several cards, just to show you how different just putting your designer series paper in different places can look. So I got my little nest, bird nest of hexi frames. I'm going to keep these here. Put those over there. Let's work on our quilt part of it first, okay? So I've got a scrap of grid paper here. You could use the grid that is on your glass mat if you want to. And I'm going to bring in a 1 by 1.5 inch rectangle of basic black. And I've got a rectangle that's a 1/2 inch by, I think, 2 1/4. Yep, 2 1/4 of designer series paper. We're gonna do some marking on these. So I'm gonna bring in a pencil. I got an eraser. I'm gonna need some snips, and this is gonna get us going. Hi, Ramona. Hey, Jill. You haven't missed anything, Jill. I've been busy talking. So let's, I'm going to turn my 1 inch by 1.5 inch square of basic black. So the longest side is running across the top there. And I'm just going to sit it right in front of my, right into my grid here on the grid paper. Grid paper will have two sides. This side that I'm working with, each one of these squares is 1/4 inch. The other side is a smaller grid. So I'm just going to put this down within the squares there. And what I want to do is I want to make a tick mark at 1/2 inch. So count 2 squares. I'm going to make a tick mark. Do I need to come in a little bit closer? Here, let's do this. Whoops. I had just feared that I ruined everything. So let me push this up a little ways. Okay, sit this back down. Okay, so I came in 1/2 inch from the left. I'm going to come in for 1/2 inch from the right and make another tick mark. Now holding it, I'm just going to work clockwise around my rectangle. Over here on the side, I want this even. I'm going to come down 2 squares, make a tick mark at 1/2 inch. Working my way around the corner, I'm going to come in 2 squares, 1/2 inch. Come over this way, 1/2 inch. So your tick marks should be across from each other. Same way with this left side here. Okay? So I'm making my tick marks where I need them. And I'm just going to set this one out of the way. I'm going to bring in my 1/2 inch by 2 1/4. And if you have a side that your tick marks will be easier to see and you won't have to erase them, you can flip it over. This is the side I want to use. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put it within my grid paper. And now what I'm going to do is from each end, I'm going to come in just 1/4 inch. I'm going to make that tick mark 1/4 inch top and bottom, 1/4 inch on the side. come to this end, tick mark 1/4 inch, top and bottom, 1/4 inch on the side. I'm an enabler, Becky. I think it's my job. It's in my job description. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh. Anyway. Okay, let's see if I can scroll, make sure that I'm not missing any comments. Okay. So we've made our tick marks. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do some snipping. So while I've got this here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip from this tick mark to the one that's in the center. These do not have to be perfect, okay? And now I'm going to go from the center to this other tick mark. So I'm making a point on each end is what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to flip this around. Where did my 1/4 inch go? There it is. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to try and have the same shape. So when I flip this over, let's sit it down so that you can see it. I've got a point on each end, okay? And now I'm going to bring in that piece of black cardstock, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go from the side to the, from the bottom to the side to the top, and do that on both ends. Now, if you want to put this in your trimmer because you want them to be perfect, go ahead. Okay, so now I've got a shape that looks like this. And I've got that. And oh, excuse me for my belly growling. Okay, so we got those two shapes. If you can see your pencil marks on the sides that you're using, erase them. What's nice is with this one, I can just flip it over. And I don't have to erase those pencil lines, but if yours show, then I want you to erase them. Okay, so silicone mat is going to come in handy. So I need this piece and this piece. I need, these are 1/4 inch by, I think, at least 3 inch pieces of Daffodil Delight. And I've got a 1/2 inch circle. If you don't have a 1/2 inch circle and you want to use a 1/2 inch square, what I want you to do is, let's see, do I have a piece of black cardstock in front of me? I was going to show you. You just want to snip off the 2 of the corners to kind of give it a rounded look. This is totally not the right size, but I can show you what I mean. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Okay. So what I mean by that is if I had a 1/2 inch square right here, I just want to snip off 2 of the corners, just kind of make them look somewhat even. And then, whoops, see how it kind of just rounds off your edges? You can do that if you don't have a 1/2 inch circle. Okay? But I just happen to have a 1/2 inch circle punch, so I use that. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to lay down our piece of designer series paper. This, you want the point, I'm going to lay it right on top of here. And when I put it right here, these sides should pretty much line up with the bottom edge of that designer series paper. It is not going to be perfect. I didn't cut trying to be perfect, okay? So I'm going to put some glue right here in this point. Maybe. I don't need too much. I just want it to stick. And so I'm just going to line that up and just try to center it. Kind of like this. Okay? So I've got that. That's the first part. Oh boy, when I zoomed in on the, I am zoomed in, aren't I? Okay, let's see if I'm missing any comments. Okay, good. Now I'm going to take the yellow bars here, and I really don't need it to be this long. I'm going to snip it in half. And if you got leftover, you just have to do this again. This yellow bar is going to fit right under the purple designer series paper. And I know some of you have already figured out where we're going with this. The mystery is starting to reveal itself. As we get a little bit further along, I'll talk more about this method. Okay, so I'm just going to put that right across there. And then the second piece, I'm just going to put down here. So I'm actually going to put my glue right about under where that V starts there on the bottom. And then just kind of line them up. How many of you are going right now, I know what it is, I know what it is. Hi, Lori. Doris, hello. I'm going to be talking about you here in a minute. Hi, Robin and the Wisconsin gang. Hi, Karen. You got it. I'm not going to keep you in suspense. We are making an applique. I'm kind of channeling an applique method of quilting, okay? And I learned about this applique, and I'm putting air quotes there. When I first started doing quilt cards, Doris had sent me the cutest little nuthatch easel card. And at first I didn't understand what she was trying to explain to me because back then we were creating our birds and things like that on grid paper and then cutting them out. And she was explaining to me about cutting it out and putting it, oh, I know. I was like trying to piece the whole darn square. And Doris is like, what if you just create the subject and cut it out and place it on a background? And when I finally got it, I was like, this is genius. So Doris taught me how to quote applique quilt blocks. And that's what we're going to do. We haven't done it in a long time. So we're going to get back to some applique card making style for today's project. I'm going to flip this over And I'm going to cut off the extra yellow parts of its body. Now I'm just going to lift this up and put my scissors underneath the wings there. Doris opened my eyes to a whole new realm when I finally, it took a while for it to click for me, and it does because I overthink everything. But when I got it, I was like, this is like so, this just made it so much easier. So there's our little bee body. And then whether you use a rounded off square or a 1/2 inch circle, I'm going to put just a little dot of glue at the bottom. I'm going to set it down. And then I'm just going to take my bee and I'm just going to set that right on top of that little dot of glue. Let it catch, pick it up, reposition it if I need to. And now we've got our little tiny head. Is this like not the cutest thing you've ever seen? Oh, Holly, I got it. It is going to be so cute. Okay, so here's our little bee. But remember I told you that in the die set there was in the die, where did it go now? I'm glad I got another one here beside. Oh, here it is. In the die set are little antennae. Okay, so now what I'll do is put a you can use a glue dot, which probably would be easier, but that means I have to find mine. And I'm just going to put his little antennae right behind his cute little head. And sure, we could have die cut, or we could have die cut the bees. We could have stamped and die cut. We could have used a sticker. But if we're making quilt cards, why can't we just applique our own little bee? I mean, it's just geometric shapes that we're putting together. It's kind of like punch art, but we're actually just doing some cutting. So there's our cute little bee that's going to be a part of our quilt card. Now there's some decisions you'll be able to make. I am actually going to put my little bee on this piece of bubble bath, and I'm positioning my hexi with the points going vertical. Now you can do it with them going horizontally. What it just means is, like, when it's horizontally, I don't have, well, I mean, I could put him offset a little bit, like, you know, he's moving. But if I do it like this, and I turn, wait, if I do it like this, I guess it doesn't matter, you guys. Don't overthink it like I am. But I know that the way I cut my hexis out for my card, the directional paper is going vertically, so I'm making sure that my this plain hexi is going vertically so that the pieces fit together. So now what you can do is you can quilt this block first and lay your applique on top and leave it as is, so it's nice and smooth and crisp. Or you can glue your bee down and just quilt it all at the same time. Okay, I have one that I've done already so that you can see the difference in whether you quilt the whole piece or you would just quilt the background and leave the applique nice and clean on top. I'll show you some examples in the cards that I did. I did them both ways, but you can kind of be thinking for your card how you want to do it. Okay, So, since this one's done already, I'm going to set this one to the side, and I'll just have to make another card to use that one up. And so now I'm going to bring in that basic black 4 by 5 1/4 piece of cardstock. Now I made it the same color as my card base because I wanted it all to just kind of blend in. Okay, so it's going to be a layer, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think, where do I want to put my bee? And do I want my bee kind of going this way or another way? So that is just a decision that you have to make. I think I'm going to put the bee, and then do you want it at the top, or do you want it at the bottom or in the corner? I think I'm going to put my little bee closer to the top. And now I've got to find there's my glue dots. I just want to tack this little guy down. I don't want to glue it down. I just want to tack it down so that I can work around it with my hexis. So let's just put it like right about there. Okay, silicone mat's really going to come in handy here. And then we're going to play with building. And you can put your pieces right up next to each other. I'm leaving a little bit of a gap. And now it's just about coming up with a design. I want to bring some more bees in. However, I don't... wait, this way. Okay, I could do... but he gets cut off, so maybe not that one. Now it's just about playing. We're going to use these little guys. We're going to give him some friends to hang out with. And I think I'm going to start glue. This one here, I can almost get that right up to the side. So I'm going to lay this one down. And you can put as wide of a space or as narrow of a space as you want. Or like I said, you can butt them right up together. But we'll get that one down. And then you're going to want to make sure that you don't put glue where it hangs off of your layer. So I'm going to hold this down. I'm going to slide my fingers underneath. And I don't want to put any glue where my fingers are. So now I can just put some glue down. We'll put this one on. Okay. And we just keep building out. But can you kind of see where, if you were making, I think it's Grandmother's Garden, somebody, Quilty, correct me. But if I just kept putting these hexis all the way around, look what a beautiful quilt block this would make for a scrapbook page. You could just fill it in with the hexis and beautiful. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing because I'm zoomed out so far. Okay, let's dial this back here. There, now you can see what I'm doing. Oh. Okay. Hi, Terry. There we go. So now think of a 12 by 12 scrapbook page and putting this beautiful hexi motif. Now, I think it's supposed to look more like honeycomb, but the quilter in all of us, I am thinking quilt patterns instead of like honeycomb or anything like that, okay? So anyway, let's just see. Let's try to bring in a few more friends for him. Maybe this one's looking at him like, "Hey, fly over here." So we're gonna keep filling this in. This one here is a little, that's gonna be straight too. Okay. I am going to, I think I want another green maybe over this way. And when you trim off the edges, you'll have some pieces that will work on another card for yourself. So I'm going to go with this here, and I still have some pieces down here at the bottom to fill in, but I really want to get this going. So I want to see where I need to not put glue. But if I get some glue where it's not supposed to be, that's why my silicone mat is underneath there. Okay, let's do this one over here. I mean, you can kind of see your shape right here too. So I think I got too much glue, but I think I put glue way beyond where I needed to. The silicone mat is actually starting to confuse me with this dark background. And, oh my goodness, I don't want all that glue right there. I'm gonna move it over until it dries and I can kind of swish it out. So here, I'm just gonna kind of mimic where this might go so that I don't keep repeating getting glue where I don't want it. I thought, you know, last night when I was making more samples, I was like, now hold one back so that they don't have to watch you do this whole thing. And you can just, you know, switch it out. But I got to going and I didn't catch myself in time. So I know this seems like a little monotonous right now, but I used up all my pieces creating the other cards, and I don't have one ready to go. So let's work on the bottom here, and let's try to find a paper we haven't used yet. Let's maybe put that one right there. And let's see, what else do we have here? We have some more bees. Oh, I like this one. I think I'm going to put this right here in the corner. Now, if your pieces start getting really tiny because you're trying to fill them in, you know, you can always leave it alone. I've got this little corner right here. I can't leave it alone. I gotta fill it in. You know what? Let's trim this up. And then I'll use something that I trimmed off of it, because it's just that little corner. It always looks like a lot of chaos when you're putting all these big pieces down, but when I flip this over and all of this excess is gone, it just looks so pretty. I noticed that when I would make strip quilts at retreat, I've got all these strips of fabric and I'm like, and I'm making it scrappy, right? So I'm not trying to be mindful of what goes next to each other. And I'm thinking as I'm sewing, I'm like, this looks god-awful. And then I trimmed it up. And it was like, oh my gosh, I love it. look how pretty that is once we trimmed it. So now I'm going to find a little piece of something from the top. Where's that dark pink? Where's that? Here it is. I'm just going to bring and just put a dot here. I could leave it alone, you guys. I could leave it alone, but I can't. Okay, and now we'll cut this off. Okay. Get all, and you can use all those leftover pieces. I'm going to get this silicone mat out of the way. Look how cute this is. So the next thing is I want to quilt it, but I'm going to remove this right here. Now I'm going to quilt it because my design has me framing this area, and I'm going to pop up my bee. So I want to do the quilting first before I do those two steps. So I'm just going to do this to the side real quick. Da, 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 da. And the embossing folder that I'm using is the Celebration embossing folder called Starstruck Embossing Folder. I made sure that I'm using the same embossing folder that I quilted my bee with, so it all goes together, but you could get creative and use two different ones, okay? Okay, so I've got that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fine tip glue, and I want to kind of spotlight. I want to spotlight the bees so that all our work that we did here, that's where I want the attention to go to. So I'm just going to put, come on. Come on. This was flowing so good last night. Okay, I'm just going to have to be careful here. Maybe it's time to refill my other one. Okay. And I am going to put this frame right around this open spot here. Like I said, what I'm doing is, because this line, this outline is bigger than what I used separating my hexis, it's going to like spotlight the applique part. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my card front, or on the front of my card. And the card base was 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. So I've got a top fold here. And see why I made that layer that I put my hexis on the same color as the background, so it all just kind of keeps looking kind of like mosaic-y. And I've got that really nice background. So now, if you've ever noticed when you die cut paper, or not die cut, when you emboss, it kind of thins out the paper some, and I really want this to be a little sturdier. I cut out another hexi, and I'm going to layer these two because I want to give my applique block some strength. So I'm just going to double up here just so that it's stronger, because those rollers really do kind of thin out your paper. Okay, so this just gives it some more heft. And I'm going to use dimensionals because I want it to sit on top and pop out a little bit. So I'm going to bring in the only black dimensionals I have left are these little tiny ones. So we're just going to stick some down here. I don't want my my popped up area to give, so I put quite a few on here. Doris, can you believe I still don't have this little weed cup for these backings filled yet? I haven't emptied it either since retreat, what, 2 years ago? Okay, so now I'm going to take my bee. I'm just going to, I'm going to inlay it into this area here. I'm just going to make sure that I've got that nice thick frame all the way around it. And now that frame kind of draws your eye and spotlights your applique block and brings that to your attention instead. Okay, and now I am going to look at my sentiments. I have 3 left from the other cards that I did. I don't not like that one. But do I want to do white, or do I want to do, I think that one's got my vote. Do you guys have a preference on which one? Do we do tone on tone, summer splash, or black font? What do you think? Oh, I'm glad you like it, you guys. Yes, we're appliquing today. We're not piecing. We did piece the bee together, but we're appliquing today for our mystery. I was just wondering if anybody had a preference on, okay, Marilyn says black font. It looks like the black font is winning. So I'll just have to use these 2 on another card. Now you could pop this up if you wanted. I'm just going to glue it down here to the bottom. Try not to cover up my cute little bee too much. And it is it's a 1 inch by 4 inch piece of cardstock, but it just holds this beautiful sentiment. And again, I think this was more for like scrapbooking, but I think it can be used here too. And then it's just a matter of bringing in, I'm going to use the In Color dots because it's got Summer Splash and it's got Petunia Pop, the colors that are in the Designer Series paper. I think I'm going to use a Summer Splash. I need some more of that Pool Party Summer Splash color in here. And what I like about the embossing folder for this Starstruck is it's a perfect little center to hold a dot. And so what I'm doing is I'm looking and seeing where I can put, I'm covering up the little star, but I think of this embossing folder as flowers anyway, but I do see that they are stars. Well, let's put one, let's put one right there. Okay, so I'm just going to put 3 little pieces of bling there. And to finish it off, I did add a strip of Designer Series paper to the insert of my card. And then, as usual, I like to put a half a strip of Designer Series paper on the back, half a width of my card base, and I've got my button. Okay. And so now I just want to show you the other samples that I did. So let me show you what quilted versus non-quilting of the bee looks like. Here's the same one on bubble bath. Can you see this is just really nice and flat, like a nice flat paint? So this is not quilted, but here this one is. This is just laying on top of my quilting. So you can get a feel of how this is really nice and clean. The texture changes it. So Sharon, do I print my own buttons? I do. A friend sent me a PDF. She designed the button for the back. That person is watching. I don't know if she'd want to reveal, but she sent me the PDF and I just print them off on basic white cardstock and use a scallop punch, circle punch for punching them out. But you can do it in Word. I think she did it in Word. But yeah, you can design your own on the computer. And just know, I knew what size this punch was, this scallop circle. So I knew where, I knew that to fill it on the inside was like an inch, maybe more, a little bit more than an inch. But you can make it any size depending on how big you want your button to be. So there's those in bubble bath. Okay, so there's bubble bath. And then here's a couple in pool party. Again, this bee here is not quilted, but this bee is. So that you can see the difference. But look how different each card looks because we're moving the Designer Series paper around. So there's that one. And then do I have 2 of the white ones like that? Oh yeah. Here I use just basic white for my background. And I think this is a different, yes, this is a different embossing folder. This is the dashing something. This quilting is a little different than the Starstruck. But you can see how one bee is nice and clean. The other one has texture. And then here's one in pool party. Oh, it's just an extra one in pool party. Kind of about the same way. The frame went all the way to the edge. So this one kind of bothers me because I don't see any Designer Series paper here. But it's just because my frame for my bee went all the way to the side of that layer. Still cute as ever. But yeah, so I couldn't stop making bees. So I hope this has really drawn your attention to this bundle and the possibilities of it. I am going to give away 4 of the cards. So if you want to type quilting bee in the comments, then I will draw some names. Now, as I mentioned, I am leaving tomorrow and not getting back till late Monday. I can still pick the winners from my phone while I'm gone. I am hoping to have your PDF ready tonight before I leave. So, because I'm not taking my computer with me. So, I've already taken my pictures and I'm hoping to have the PDF up tonight instead of the weekend. Okay, so that is today's mystery quilt card. And a little bit of applique, a little of our own piecing. You could very much stamp these bees from the stamp set and die cut them out. You can use the punch from this the stamp set that was prior to this bundle, or if you get the sticker sheet, this little bee here, I think quite a few of these bees you could get to fit inside the smallest hexi. So you could even use a sticker with these little smaller bees if you wanted to. It's up to you. Nothing wrong with options. We love options. Okay, everyone, I'm going to let you go so that you can create. And also be mindful that if you don't have the bundle that I used today, you could put a flower in the center of whatever your shape is. It can be a die cut of anything. I just wanted to feature the bee bundle and make our applique our own bee on. But if you don't have it, just keep thinking and know that you can use anything in the center of your quilt card, okay? So with that, I am going to wish you a very blessed rest of your day. You have a good weekend. I'm going to try and go live out in the field if there's reception. So if we come across that great gray owl, which could make me cry because it's like the bird that is at the top of my wish list, just understand that I'm having a moment. But I am going to try and share with you what I'm seeing in Duluth, Minnesota at Sax Zim Bog and the North Shore, places like that. So just keep your fingers crossed. If there's cell reception, then I'm going to try to come at you live for a few minutes and show you the tundra and show you what we're seeing. Okay? So everybody enjoy the rest of your day. If you have completed your cards, please share them over in the group. And I'll be checking that out after lunch. Okay, everybody have a blessed day. Thank you for joining me. Oh, and I will try to get the YouTube, get this uploaded to YouTube tonight also.